Hi, I'm Kate the Hair Fairy, and I'm going to show you how to put on lashes. I love lashes. Let's get to work. Number one, you want to make sure that you don't have any extra oil or moisturizer or any kind of grease on your eyelids. So I always get in there. My favorite setting powder is the Ben Nye Fair. I feel like it goes on anyone. A fluffy brush, a little bit of that powder, and dab it around my eyelid. And why this is important is if you put on lashes, you always want to make sure you have eyeliner. And if you are blinking, or like for me, I'm looking down all day at work, that eyeliner can get up on that upper crease, and this will help stop that from happening. And the secret with lashes is you always want to make sure you get the eyeliner on underneath, because then that way, if they don't line up perfectly, the eyeliner will do a lot of the heavy lifting for blending. There are a few different types of eyeliner out there. There's pencil eyeliner, there's liquid eyeliner, and there's gel eyeliner. Liquid is usually pretty user-friendly at home. Pencil can be kind of iffy, depends upon like how thick or how well it glides on. Typically, since I've become a hair and makeup artist, I've started to use more gel, and I like it because it's more sanitary. Because typically if I'm using a gel eyeliner on somebody, I scoop it out and then I use a palette with my brush and draw it on there. You can just get to be a little bit more precise with a gel eyeliner. Let's try it. And you can use a brush, the tip of it, or the flat edge of the brush, depending upon what part of the eye you're working on. What a difference that already makes. There we go. After you get your eyeliner on, the next step is mascara. You can put mascara on after you put lashes on, but I like putting it on before because that way the mascara has a chance to dry a little bit. If you put it on afterwards and the glue is still setting from the lashes, there's a chance that putting on that mascara will push your eyelashes back and get them so they don't look quite as fresh. When it comes to mascara, because I do a lot of fake eyelashes and I go through mascara pretty quickly, this is probably one of the cheaper products that I use. Otherwise, when it comes to hair and makeup, I'm going to be very bougie about quality. Mascara though, you want to throw it out pretty quick. And with this one, I like the brush because it's got curved and it's kind of like a caterpillar where it can really get in those lashes. If I'm putting mascara on somebody, obviously I'm using a separate wand. Let's get a coat of mascara on. There we go. Got a couple little goobers. That'll be fine. Let it dry completely. For lashes, I typically like the Ardell brand. They have a lot of different options for how natural or how big you want them to be. Demi Wispies, I like these. They're big without being too over the top. So that's going to be personal preference. When you have them, what you want to do is you don't want to just pull them off because you can put a kink in the band. So typically what you want to do is push them off this holding place and loosen them up that way. There we go. Next one. Now when you first peel the lashes off, they're going to have little chunks of kind of like that adhesive to hold them in place. Super easy. Peel that off. And they're also going to be pretty long. Most of the time you're going to have to trim an end off to get them to fit your eye shape unless you are blessed with very large eyeballs. And then what you also want to check for is if on the edges there's any kind of band overhang. So you see that little overhang right there. We're going to cut off there. So how do you know how much to cut off? What you want to do is loosely place in that eye, kind of see what's overhanging. For me, when I put them on, you look at that band, I usually will cut off this first little chunk right there, and then it's pretty okay. So here we go. And if you're careful taking your lashes off, you can absolutely rewear them. You take them off, peel off the old glue, and redo the process. I like rewearing my lashes and the fact that like now they're fitted to my eye shape, so I feel like they're easier to go on. When they're fresh, because they're around a bigger band and kind of set to that, they tend to try to pop up on the corners, so it takes a little longer to get them settled in. So just cutting off that first little clump. Glue time. Dual glue is my favorite. I like the white that dries clear, so it'll come out white and then dry clear with everything. I believe they make black, and I believe they make Quickset. Quickset is good when I'm dealing with an allergy, watery eye, but the glue kind of gets a little weird when you try to reuse it. So this one is my go-to favorite. So on myself, put a little on my finger. And then when you're putting on the lashes, you don't want to stick them to your actual eyelashes. You want to have them on that skin just above the lashes, above the lash line, hence why we put on the eyeliner. So you don't want to get that glue on the actual lashes either. You want to just get it on that band. So I'm almost going to slide them through 90 degrees against my finger. Make sure you get those corners. If those corners lift, you're going to be miserable. You can tell if they fit well if they don't poke. If they're pokey, they're too long, you got to take them off and cut them. Sometimes you put them on, they can grab these bottom lashes. That's okay. Let them set. You can pull those lashes out of that glue and it'll be fine. Just behind your normal lashes. Take my tweezer. Looking pretty good. Second one. Now this eye is always a little funkier because these eyelashes curl up. Honestly, my secret is I can either do a lash lift, which will perm them so they're not as like curled back. Or sometimes, honestly, I'll just kind of cut a couple of them to get rid of like that loop-de-loop curl. Whatever works for you. There we go. Now, the secret that I have for lashes is just to really secure those corners. On myself, if I work on somebody, then yes, I make it more sanitary, but on myself, I take a little corner of my glue, dab it on my glue bottle, dab it on the glue, and then dab these corners down and really get those to stick. And then just let it dry. If it's white, it's still not dry yet, so just let it dry. And then these little mascara goobers, super easy. Just grab a Q-tip as soon as it's dry. It usually wipes off pretty easy. Take it off with a Q-tip